are in episode number 56 of Stats Over Politics. Shaun Holko alongside Kevin Dent, Garry Singh, Jaevon Toddy, and our special guest, Kaz Johnson of Kazzy Bear TV. You can check him out on YouTube. So now, Kaz, we go into 3 games in detail every single week, but we got to talk about the rest of the week 6 in the NFL. So this is our speedy NFL week 6 recap, as Kevin will be rejoining us soon. And Kaz is our guest. I'm going to start things off with you. And Thursday Night Football, as the Chiefs beat the Broncos 19-8. What were your quick thoughts on that one?
I hate Russell Wilson. It's a fiery passion. The Chiefs should have won that game. They did. And just a terrible game to bet on. All around. It's just a terrible game to bet on. Russell Wilson, I don't know what's wrong with that man, but he's not right. He's not right. And he gets no excuses. I hate him a lot. I didn't know that, 2 years ago I'd ever be saying something like this because I never mind the guy, the quarterback. But they lost that game. They should have lost that game. And I think it's because of Russell Wilson. He's so bad. He's so bad.
Garry, the Ravens beat the Titans 24-16 in London.
Ravens, this is a good win by the Ravens. I predicted they were going to win this because they were hyped up international game. You could tell Lamar and them were ready, coming off a loss last week, obviously, to us. So they're going to have a bounce back game this week. Lamar played great. I feel like he's still in the MVP discussion, just hovering himself around there. And yeah, this is the Titans, they're in a weird situation, man. They're going to fight hard and stuff and that things of that nature. They're going to be in every game, but they're in the no man lands, being 2-4 and in the middle lands with Tannehill, and you still got Derrick Henry doing great things. So I feel like they should they got to get a better quarterback somehow and get a little younger, so that I feel like they're still great with their coaching there. So exactly, they got to give him. He might go. Yeah, he might play this week, right? So we'll see. I don't know, but
Malik Willis.
Yeah, they haven't given an opportunity. Well, those guys, they need to actually produce a guy here because these guys, they have a lot of guys that are like kind of iffy. We need a guy that's going to really help this team propel themselves to the next tier here because they're always finding contention. But get that Ravens, got to give them a pound in the back. They're still chucking away 4-2, and Lamar's looking good.
Will Levis putting mayonnaise in his coffee is probably why he slipped from the first round to the second round. And I'll just leave it at that. Jaevon, the Commanders beat the Falcons 24-16.
I don't know why I bet this game, but I did. Had the Falcons in this game, and Desmond Ridder just makes so many bad mistakes in just key moments, like they'll be in the red zone. I'm going to throw an interception, or he just doesn't see the field well. Bijan Robinson is awesome. We saw Kyle Pitts sign him because they actually threw him the ball. Sam Howell looked good, I guess. I thought Brian Robinson was a difference. Curtis Samuel was a red zone threat. I would like to see them get Jahan Dotson involved more because early in the season last year, of his rookie year, he was pretty much catching nothing but touchdowns. I think he kind of is battling back from injury, so I might have something to do with it. They have a really good offense. If you kind of look at it, Scary Terry, you got Brian Robinson, you got Curtis Samuel, a guy who's been a threat in the red zone. Sam Howell just trying to put the pieces together. I think Bieniemy is kind of, they're starting to score points a little bit. And, Falcons just aren't that good. I think they kind of just deceive a lot of people with, certain key wins that they've had at home. But I don't know. They kind of got pushed around in this game. So Falcons suck.
Yeah, the Bengals beat the Seahawks 17-13.
Yeah, so I did pick that game correctly. I took Cincinnati to win.
-3?
What's that?
Did you take a -3 or just straight up?
I just straight up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No spread, nothing like that. I've been saying for the past 2 weeks on my weekly predictions, the Bengals are going to do that thing where people are going to kind of forget about them and kind of, put that bad, Joe Burrow he's hurt. He's not the same. This now I'm like, you guys are idiots. I'm like, this
Sneaking
guy
up.
has Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and he is Joe Burrow. I'm not a crazy fan of his. I'm not a hater of him at the same time. Every week that passes by and he doesn't hurt that calf and he gets better and better, he's going to just continue to prove teams wrong. So I took the Bengals to win that one all day. Wasn't surprised when they did. It was a good game to win because Seattle is a contender as of right now. and they did what they needed to do. What they did was actually very impressive given how they started the season off. So big shout out to the Bengals. You beat a very good opponent. You handled business at home, and they put themselves in position, unlike my Eagles, to kind of get that ball rolling and show the league, hey, we're still here. We fooled you the first 3 weeks. Now get ready to really feel that Cincinnati Bengals team. So good game by the Bengals. I think they were a little bit better in Seattle when they were at home. So
Jamar Chase 7-11 chain.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. As Kevin rejoins us, it's perfect timing for you, Kevin, because I wanted to ask about your AFC team, the Jags, led by Dougie P. As the Jaguars, they beat the Colts 37-20.
After week 1, I believe Anthony Richardson went in there. I think it was in Indianapolis, and the Jags lost week 1. So we saw Anthony Richardson come in his rookie debut and really light this team up, not only on the ground, but through the air. In this game, we saw, Kaz, I know this is going to hit home for you, just like it does for me, man. Gardner Minshew just looked like a fucking backup. He went out there 33 of 55, 329 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 interceptions. We saw what they did with the rookie. They were able to get the W. Same team, just a different quarterback. You plug in Anthony Richardson, but this game you plugged in Gardner Minshew. It was a completely different result. Trevor Lawrence, unfortunately, went down, so now there are a lot of questions for him regarding Thursday Night Football. But Trevor Lawrence, like Shaun mentioned, Kaz, I was a big Jag fan. I was on schedule before their big leap. I called it all offseason. This was going to be the team. Doug Peterson's going to come in here and have this offense playing outside of their mind. And I have to go and say, Travis Etienne, I was wrong about you, and I apologize for skipping over you in fantasy. This dude is a fucking dog. 18 carries, 55 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He is single-handedly holding this offense afloat because Calvin Ridley, my gosh, has been MIA. Christian Kirk does his thing. We have Evan Ingram, Zay Jones, but Travis Etienne is probably the only person that consistently shows up for Trevor, not only on the run, but in the air game. So a lot of things to see from the Jags, but I'm excited to see what they can do moving forward.
Blue is also very excited to see what the Jaguars are going to be doing going forward. As Garry, the Dolphins, they doubled up the Panthers 42-21.
Yeah, they started off this game down 14-0 versus a team that hasn't got a win this year in the 0-6 Panthers, and boom, bada bang, you see Tyreek Hill to Tua connection, drop 21. That's the closest team you're going to get to, like, they kind of what Chiefs were when they had Tyreek, obviously, when they felt like a track meet. This felt like an all-star team base. This is what this Miami team is right now, an all-star team and a track meet. Just great. It's one of the funnest teams really to watch in the league. You got to me, I thought you got to turn them on just to watch the offense, see Tyreek do one crazy things week after week, and boom, they flipped it 42-21. Tyreek right here with 163 yards on 6 catches, Tua with 262 yards or 3 TDs. I had one bad week a few weeks ago against the Bills, but other than that, they've been chipping away, really just been winning, handling business. Basically, we always been calling them like Niners, I guess, AFC version, because the offense and the connection what they have and kind of the similar playbook style they run with the innovative offense they have. But you got to give credit where credit is due right here. Panthers just get ready for another draft pick and see how you can help your young buck out back there. At least he's getting some reps to, try to get better each and every week. Doesn't really have anything but Adam Thielen, which I'm glad I have in one of my fantasy leagues, which is kind of last minute pickup. But OG's been picking up me some yards and helping me get some wins here. So shout out to Adam Thielen, still doing his thing in the league and, trying to help the youngins over there get right. But their team needs a lot more things still. But the Dolphins, man, Still cooking away, guys. This team right here is going to be a tough one to handle. I think what you mentioned earlier, they come face the Eagles next week, so it's going to be a great matchup to watch. Last week's going to be it's probably one of those games where you think fireworks are going to fly with offense. It's probably going to be a defensive game watch. But Miami's defense, they fall short against the Bills a couple weeks, like I mentioned. So but they got some guys on this team that if they can get right and that defense at the right time can be clicking, they'd be really scary.
Before we move on, Shaun, I have to give Garry some love here. Before, in the beginning of the season, we do a factor cap like we will do it early in the show. And the question was, will Calvin Johnson's record be broken? Garry told it, and he said it. He screamed it to the heavens, and he said it twice. He said it 3 times, said it 4 times for the people in the back. During Calvin Johnson's record year, he averaged 122 yards per game and 16.1 per catch. Tyreek Hill's averaging 135 yards per game and 19.4 yards per catch. He is on pace for 2,306 yards. It is week 6. week 6, and he has 814 yards. He's 186 yards from 1K. So, Gary, you said it. I had to come on here and give you your flowers once I saw this stat. So, he's on pace.
Appreciate you, Kev. Appreciate you, Kev. But I hope, man, Kyrie, man, I seen that video. He does crazy stuff. He grabs the phone, does the flip, but it's like, slow down the flips. I want him to make, he kind of gets, pulled something at the end of the game real quick. Like, let's get, Kev, that only happens, like we mentioned, I'm hoping it happens. I've been calling it, like you mentioned all year. I think he's the best wide receiver in the league, just on all different things he can control in the game and the effect he has in the game. But my God, come on, Cheetah, stay healthy, baby. Let's stay healthy to the end so you can get that.
Jaevon, you decided to start a running back at quarterback in fantasy this week as the Vikings beat the Bears 19-13.
Justin Fields gets hurt in the game. I start him, but I mean, it was kind of, I have Brock Purdy as my other quarterback, so it was kind of like pick your poison. I just think the Bears just aren't. The Bears fooled everybody on Thursday night. Okay, they kind of gave you some false hope, momentum, like, hey, like maybe we are actually good. But then you kind of turn the game on. You're like, okay, they're up by 3 points. Kind of letting the Vikings hang around, and they had that big defensive turnover for the Vikings, and Kirk is just going to be as consistent as he can be. When no one's really watching, he's pretty good, but when the lights are very bright, he usually shits down his leg. So. The Vikings, you could argue, I mean, Wes was trolling me on Twitter. He added everybody and just said Skull, because I think we all picked the Bears.
All four of us.
I think we all picked the Bears to win, so he just wanted to let us know that Skull is in the chat, as Kev always says. So we'll see how far. I don't really know. The Vikings aren't really going anywhere. They play the Niners on Monday night, so we'll see if the Skull is going to be in the chat Monday night. So, I mean, the Bears are who we thought they were, as the infamous quote is. And I think Justin Fields is hurt too, like he hurt his hand or something like that. So, not a good sign for Bears fans.
As the Texans beat the Saints 20-13.
Yeah, loved every second of that. Called that game 100%. I've been called crazy. I picked the Texans last week and this week, and my soul,
Texans last week.
Yeah, and my soul, and they should have won, and they should have won. I mean, they played Atlanta. I think it was Atlanta last week, and Atlanta had that last game-winning drive. I'm like, woo! I mean, damn, man, like you did about everything you need to do to win that game. You're a team that's trying to prove something. That division's still wide open because Jacksonville's not playing great right now. And they're pretty much the front runners with Anthony Richardson, being banged up. And that's probably the Colts' only shot of having any sort of success this season. I'm like, the Texans are nice. And this week they got the dub. And I think that as long as DeMeco Ryans, he just gets that defense going. I don't know what's going on with Dameon Pierce, but if he can get that defense going, okay, CJ Stroud, Tank Dell, and Nico Collins will handle business. If they find a way to get Dameon Pierce going, watch out. Because he's trash right now, but watch out. So big win from the Texans. They were at home. I think it was a good win from them for that reason, just to kind of give their fans a little bit of hope. They're playing against a Saints defense that is good. They have Alvin Kamara back, and I understand that Derek Carr may not be playing the best football, but the Texans, before the season started, I mean, everybody here would probably say the Saints should win this game, and the Texans handled business. So I think the Texans are going to be that problem team. They're going to be that team that down the stretch, whether they make the playoffs or not, they're going to beat some very good teams out there and mess up their chances. So big game from the Texans, and I hope CJ Stroud continues to shine. I mean, he's looking like the best quarterback out of that draft for sure right now, and I love it. It's awesome.
By the way, the Texans' win total was 5.5. They already have 3 wins.
Yeah.
Toddy's Saints.
Oh,
well, that's exactly why I threw myself on the big screen, because I wanted to bring up this comment.
I even quoted myself on Twitter, and I said they're a dog shit franchise. So I don't know. It is what it is.
Man, don't feel bad, bro. I was before the season started. I was like, man, Panthers gonna take this division all day.
Oh, Kevin said the exact same thing. Yeah.
Hey, before I'm like, man, Bryce Young about to come up in here, bro. And hey, look, I don't care about the size because when we drafted Smitty, he was too small. I'm like, nah, see, that's all facade. They don't understand what Bryce about to do. I'm like, I have never been more wrong on a take in my life.
Tough. Yeah. Life comes at you fast.
and then right now the Buccaneers, for a little while before they lost, they was looking, pretty damn good. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, this wasn't supposed to happen. Like,
yeah,
that
division is pretty much up for grabs. I have no idea who's going to win that.
No clue. No clue.
Couldn't tell you.
Kevin, are you back with us for the next game? Okay, just wanted to make sure. So the Raiders, they beat the Patriots 21-17.
It's so sad for all of us in Cavs. I'm sure you fall in this category as well. As our whole life, we've seen the Patriots just dominate. From their first moments of football, you see Tom Brady hosting the Lombardi. You just hear all about Tom Brady, and now we're kind of onto that next phase in Bill Belichick's career, and it's Mac Jones. He's been outscored. I forgot the stat, but for the past 2 games, they didn't even score a point, and then this game they were close. But as a Patriots fan, how hurt are you that Jacoby Myers is on the Raiders going nuts? And you didn't choose him. You chose to pay the exact contract to Juju Smith-Schuster, who hasn't done
I know y'all do not like Juju. They hate Juju. They being Eagles fans.
Juju sits real hard and close to my heart. But the biggest thing I took away from this game is I don't think Bill Belichick is going to get that record. He's 26 games away from the all-time winningest record as a coach. And this might be a hot take. If he wins that, if he gets that, I think it's not in the Patriots uniform. So the Patriots have a lot of things to figure out.
All right, Gary, the Lions, they beat the Buccaneers 20-6.
Should I say Baker Mayfield for Vaughn again? Baker Mayfield came back to earth, Vaughn. Shit, 1 interception, 206 yards, looking real casual. My guy, Mike Evans was so. Chris Godwin was cooking up. I'm only saying that because I have him in fantasy, and he kind of disappointed me, so I had to mention him. But the Lions, man, like I mentioned earlier, that I feel like their name should be in the NFC, top of the NFC, right, 5-1. Simple as that. Beat the Chiefs even though it was only by 1 point. Beat the defending champions in Week 1 by stamping their name, basically saying that we're the new look Lions and we're a team that you're going to have to be reckoned with. Jared Goff, man, like I don't know, when I traded him, I was really down on Jared Goff, but you do got to realize Jared Goff did, even though he was on a Rams team that did go to the Super Bowl, he might have run the coattails of Sean McVay or whatever you want to say, but he did get there on a team to the Super Bowl, and he's been looking great in a Lions uniform. 30 for 44, 353 yards, 2 TDs, no interceptions. You just look down the whole of the stats for the Lions. They're just passing the ball. Everyone's getting touches. That we got 3 guys over 50 yards. You got a lot of people just spreading the love over there in Detroit. And they're kind of under the radar in a sense. They're kind of a sleeper team, but their team, like we mentioned earlier, I feel like they really can make some noise when the end of the year comes. And they're a gritty team. They're a hardworking team. They kind of take their identity of their coach, like we already mentioned before in the past episode. So Detroit is a good team right now, and you got to look out for them. Tampa Bay coming back to earth, but like we mentioned earlier, this is anyone's division for Tampa Bay. So they're 3-2, so they still got a chance, and maybe Baker Mayfield can come back alive again.
Jaevon, I don't know how good you feel about Baker Mayfield at this point, but the final game we have to talk about is in the NFC West as the Rams beat the Cardinals 26-9.
Yeah, it's pretty much the Cooper Kupp show. Cooper Kupp is officially back. He had the touchdown.
Cooper didn't show up.
I think that the Rams are going to be that team that kind of is like, all right, like we only have Aaron Donald and, Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, those guys remain from the Super Bowl team. How good are they, minus all the picks that they don't have? Can they just be a team that kind of floats around 9-8, scrappy, somehow figures out a way to get themselves in the playoffs? I think they can. Matthew Stafford is, Super Bowl winning quarterback. He has the experience. I think there's a ceiling on this Rams team on how good they actually can be when they go up, against those top tier teams like the Eagles and like the San Francisco 49ers. They usually kind of, tuck their tail a little bit as they have shown earlier in the year. But, Can they, compete against the Seattle? Can they compete against, the Lions? Can they compete against the Saints?
I was waiting for it.
I think they can kind of. I feel like this team can definitely go like 9-8, 10-7, maybe if we kind of look up when the dust settles. I think they'll be able to rack up wins because we all believe that Shaun McVay is one of the top NFL or coaches in the NFL. So if Matthew Stafford is healthy and able to go, I feel like the Rams are a fighting chance pretty much every week.